all of our elementary schools next year. One thing I thought that I would bring to the board's attention is something that escaped me because this year there was a conflict with something else and I couldn't get there. But we had a science fair at the high school that expanded significantly this year. And in the past, we've had science fairs, and they've had 400 or so projects entered. This year, the number increased to, I think, about 700 projects. So it's a significant increase in the participation of students. And I really failed to acknowledge that and to credit our staff members and our students for participating in such an important event. I'm going to make sure that next year when the science fair is scheduled that we all have notice and maybe be able to attend. It's a one-day, I believe it's a one-day event. So if you have to kind of get to the high school during those hours or you tend to miss it because once you put up 700 projects, it's hard to maneuver, and conduct business as usual. So I'll notify the board of the science fair, and I want to congratulate people at the high school for doing a great job in expanding that. The other thing is a mention about commencement. I have had several people stop me in the course of business here and there and just out of the clear blue just say that they attended commencement and they appreciated the ceremony and the atmosphere. I do believe that our program at Stabler serves us well given the number of adults and family members and children who attend commencement, the size of our classes, and just the facility itself. I think this year it was very cool in there. It was comfortable. It was easy for people to get in and get out of there. And once again, I want to thank the high school principal and his staff for arranging for that. I know that starts months ahead of time in putting those plans together. And in this day and age, when you have so many people assembling in any location, you've got so many other things to look at and think about. And so we jotted down some suggestions for next year, some additions and some other things that we'd like to address. But I thought, all in all, the commencement program was well received by the public, and we had lots of our staff members participate, which is also a wonderful thing. So I thank everybody for all that work. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to reports. Ms. Price.
So the IU board continues to work on updating its policies and procedures. And if I note, in May, the IU hosted its annual prom, and more than 300 past and present students attended the festivities. And just wanted everyone to know that the U.S. House of Representatives recently introduced a bill to restructure federal Medicaid. If it passed, it could cut funding by 25% or more, and reducing the ultimate Medicaid budget by more than $1 trillion in the next 10 years. The school districts would get less than 1% of the overall federal Medicaid share, and that is for medical access, school-based access, and that covers where schools can get reimbursed for physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy for their special needs children. And this is a mandated programs to help children with special needs through IDEA, but the federal government only really pays for about 16% of the costs. The rest is really given by the school districts themselves. So it's never been funded properly. And now medical access, we could be losing more funds from that. So the IU wants everyone to know that they have spoke with the local representatives, and they encourage others to contact their representatives also to make sure that access actually is given to the children that need it in their school districts. So, that's my report.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here from the East Area Public Library? Hello.
I thought tonight I'd tell you a little bit about what the Library Friends are doing. They're a very active group of volunteers who work with the library, provide volunteer services, and also raise money for special programs at the library. And this year, each year they give a scholarship, and this year they had 33 applicants and decided to give 2 scholarships, one to Rachel Rich and one to Jack Ryan Quinn. So they came and accepted their scholarships, and what impressive young people they were. It was wonderful. Also, the Friends used some of their money to pay for a kickoff program for the Summer Reading Club. And they hired a performer who calls himself Gooins Balloons. And I thought, oh, a balloon guy. And I just, oh, okay. But it turns out he's a storyteller. And he builds cottages and castles and costumes from the balloons. And he involved every child in the audience. And there was a rousing rendition of Snow White and the 38 Dwarfs. So everyone was fascinated by it. It was very good. And I also wanted to let you know that upcoming on Heritage Day, the library is going to be open by the Friends from 10 until 2. We're going to have programs for children and adults, tours of the Carnegie Building for adults, and children will get to see the Easton flag and do a coloring page about it, try on colonial costumes and have their pictures taken, write with a feather pen and ink on parchment, try to write their own John Hancock, and see a 7-minute clip from the John Adams HBO special about the signing of the Declaration of Independence with popcorn in one hand and lemonade in the other. So we're hoping 7 minutes won't be too long. The shuttle will come up to the library from downtown, and we're hoping to have a lot of folks stop in and enjoy the library and have Heritage Day. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Okay. Can you give this answer?
Sure, there's really not too much to report, just that we have hired a new business manager, and we will miss Deb and wish Steve the best of luck coming in.
Okay. Community College, Mr. Fano?
We had a very light agenda. We were recognizing one of our members who's retiring. He was college celebrates 50. He was celebrating his 50th anniversary for his wife, and at the same time stepping down. He was very instrumental in starting or having a campus in Monroe County, and so that was more about recognition than anything else. Other than that, we accepted a couple contracts, and then we got a break until August with no meetings.
Oh, lucky you. Thank you. Foundation for Easton Schools, Mr. Buscemi?
The foundation hosted its 4th annual gala on April 8th. 146 people attended, and $10,000 was raised for teacher grants through a silent auction, live auction, raffle, and table captain fundraising efforts. As a result, 23 teacher grant applications have been approved and will be implemented during the 2017-2018 school year. On the restricted fund report, many donations are received for specific purposes, and to date, 100% of the monies received have been reimbursed to the district for the intended programs. So far this year, the foundation has raised $73,648 for educational programming for the students of the school district. Since the foundation was created in 2013, the Foundation for Easton Schools has raised and donated over $135,000 and $135,023 back to the district. This includes $62,000 for the sizzle, $25,500 for the teacher grants, $15,000 for the Leader in Me program, and $32,523 funding many other programs such as STEM, art, music, mentoring, counseling, and athletics with restricted gifts from generous donors. On Thursday, June 22nd, Kathy will be accepting a $5,000 grant from the Easton Rotary Foundation that will support the Sizzle program. to be accompanied by Vice President Jeff Walters, and has been asked to make a presentation on behalf of the foundation. That's it in my report.
Okay, thank you. Charles Shaw, Science and Technology Initiative. No report. Legislative. Mr. Favor?
Yes, everybody's following Harrisburg right now. First, you notice that they did finally pass a change in the retirement program, but I think mostly of note, if you haven't read it and haven't seen it, it's not going to have a major impact on how we put our budget together. It's not going to have an impact until years down the road. So people, if they're thinking we're going to have, oh gee, that's wonderful for the district, not really an impact at this point in time. The second thing is, they keep talking about the budget out there, and they also talk about being $3 billion short. And so when you take that into consideration, I think there's a lot of talk out there, but it's what's going to happen. And the best I'm starting to hear is that they're going to keep level funding for everything. And I think that's what everybody's hope is, that they don't make cuts. There's been some talk about cuts, but for the most part, it seems like the thought of level funding is probably one of the best situations that may come out of it. So we may not want to expect a whole lot. The other is, don't expect the budget by the end of June. No surprise there. But not that it's going to drag on like it has in the years past either. That concludes that.
Okay. Students? PTA?
Quick stuff. We did wrap up our reflections program, and we were very proud to have a lot of participation at the high school this year. This is the first year that they've been involved. We wanted to mention that there were 3 students who did go to the state level. They were Caitlin Crespo from Shawnee, Semyukta Neeraj, and Isabella Victoria Valentin Montero. They were state finalists, so we were very proud of that. We also did a display at the Forks Amp Up the Arts Day, which included artwork from kids from across the whole district, and it's the first time that we did that. So a little bit of a mission to try to bring more arts programs to some of what we do. We talk a lot at the meetings about the things that we do as parents as PTA, and I wanted to thank a lot of our teachers and staff, because obviously we can't do what we do without them. So for example, at the middle school, we did a summer send-off dance, and we had staff come together with parents and students to put that together as a send-off for the kids. What you're looking at, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk over it, what you're looking at are examples of some of the artwork, and these are done by students across the district, photography, visual arts, painting. We've had musical composition, literature, poetry, all the different categories of the arts. So we thought that, just so you get a sense of what some of the kids in our district do and how talented they are, because we're very proud of the kids and proud of our parents, our volunteers, and our staff. And we just wanted to say we appreciate everybody at the meeting. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Could look at that all day long. Anyone here from EAEA? Okay. Is there anyone here from the bus drivers? The bus drivers? Okay. Mr. Reinhardt, the Diversity Alliance.
Right. Our diversity group met on June 8th, and about 15 people attended the meeting. There was some group work focused on goals, the 3 goals of the diversity group. One being recruit, hire, and retain teachers, administrators, and staff of color, increase cultural competency of all teachers, administrators, and staff, and also to increase community engagement and parental involvement. So those are the 3 goals that we're focused on, and those committees will be following up and meeting over the summer, and our next meeting will be sometime as we get back to school year, our next school year.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public to be heard on agenda items? Seeing none. We're just going to note that there was an executive session on May 23rd, 2017, 7:15. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Noted. Any discussion? All in favor?
None.
Any opposed? Okay. Minutes are approved. Okay, I'm going to take personnel, which is 7A through P. Academics, 8A through F. And policy, 9A through C. Can I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
No, discussion.
I mean, discussion? Sorry about that.
Sorry.
I wasn't skipping it on purpose.
That's okay. For the, is it Deliker contract, this is part of our cyber?
No, this is not. This is the hybrid learning that we started last year. This is a continuation of that contract to work with our staff on professional development for personalized learning and differentiated instruction with the use of hybrid learning.
Okay, on the cost of it, where we have Colonial IU will be utilized as a regional professional development partner?
Yes.
Is that an additional cost to this then, separately?
No, that would be, that's something that we work with the IU, and we already have a contract with them for professional.
So there's, the total cost then would be $48,500.
That's correct.
There's no additional cost as far as anything else goes with it?
No additional cost above and beyond this, other than the fact, but the cost that we pay to the IU is what we pay regardless of our engagement with this.
So the near term, midterm, and long term, what are those time frames?
So
On page 2.
we're looking at to start the school year, we'll be working with the 10 teachers at the middle school, and that's in math. And at the high school, we'll be working with 24 teachers, but we are also we're using the Deliker, the modules, for exposure to all of the teachers at both the middle school and the high school. So that would be our focus through 17-18 would be the more intensive coaching for those 10 and 24, but exposure for the rest of the staff, and then phasing coaching beyond just the math department at the middle school and beyond just the 24 ninth grade
And this
teachers.
is being done during professional development?
That's correct. Yes. Yep.
Okay, so I'm sorry, you were saying the near term, that's for this year? Then
Correct.
Midterm, long term, what are we?
Going into the following school year is when we would be looking at expanding that beyond just the math department at the middle school and the ninth grade staff at the high school. And so we want to assess, obviously, can it go to more than 10 teachers at the middle school? Could it go beyond just the math department? Could it be science and social studies? Could it, we don't want to commit at this point because we want to be able to assess. But obviously, as we're looking at infusing technology into our curriculum and working with students in the 21st century, we want to expose our teachers to personalized learning, center-based instruction, and like a station rotation model. And the coaching is something that we see as very important because it's in-classroom coaching. So beyond the professional development that we're receiving outside of during the PD time, there's in-classroom coaching, and that we see as very valuable.
I think that was all my questions.
Okay.
So
all for,
well, I was going
all
to
in
say,
favor?
do you want me, Ally, I'll just yell out my nose. Sorry, let me get
Go
it.
ahead. Yep.
Okay, 8B, 8E, and all of 9.
9, A, B, and C.
Yep.
While you're recording, how would you put me down for 9B as well?
So, it's 2 no's. Do we need to do a roll count on that, or?
Ask all those in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's just do a roll call so we have it, please.
Right. Mr. Pino?
Yes.
Mr. Bushin?
Yes.
Yes.
And this is for all the others except for what I said no. Yes.
So, but I'm talking about specifically 9B, because we have 2 no's for that.
Mr. Roby?
Right?
Mr. Roby? Here it is. Mr. Roby?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. I'm sorry, could you repeat your vote? I don't know if we heard you.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Yes.
So what's the count?
Yes, thank you.
And 2 no's. Right?
Four to two on that.
4 and 2, right?
It's not money, so it doesn't matter.
No, so we'll just have to hold on.
Right.
No, not approved. So 9B has not passed, but we, we're going to motion for all of it.
It doesn't need.
Just-
No,
That's it.
all right.
Yeah,
because that's
just
just a policy. Okay,
Yeah, just for a policy.
okay, okay. Yep, perfect. So it does.
Yeah.
So
Mrs. Lyson, I can interrupt you for 1 second to introduce Brooke Heitzman, who is one of our candidates that we just hired. Moments ago, Brooke will be joining our Paxnosis staff in grade 1.
Welcome. Okay, we're moving on to 10. A, 11A, 11 is minus, I'm sorry. 11A, 11B, and 11C. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion?
We're taking B off.
Oh, not yet, not B.
Or is that?
No, 12B, I'm taking off. 11B's on. 10A, 11A, B, and C. We have a motion, we have a second, any discussion?
Wait, so what is, can you scroll down? What is 11B and C?
Insurance?
It's also.
That's under 10.
No, 11. Oh, you got the old,
I got the old one then.
yeah, it was
Sorry, can you
changed.
scroll down to 10 so I can see what's different?
10 is the change orders,
Okay.
which are 2 monetary, but the rest are just for times, for the dollar amount. And then finance to pay the bills.
Got it.
So any discussion? Seeing none. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alrighty, 10 and 11. All right, we're moving on to other business. So I need a motion, do I need to just read this, right? Because we already did this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we need a motion to cast the ballots for the annual election of the Colonial Unit Intermediate Unit 20 board members as established by the PA School Code, 1949, Section 910. Ballots will be distributed, completed, and returned at this time, which has occurred.
Yep.
Can I get a motion?
Motion.
A no vote note needed?
No.
Okay, we just did that, and that's it?
Placing it on the agenda.
Okay, and Ally, you have everybody's correspondence.
Just
Perfect.
informational items.
Yay. All right, 12B has been removed. And is there anyone from the public to be heard on non-agenda items? Seeing none? Is there any business from the board? Any other business from the board? None? Can I get a motion to adjourn? I didn't forget that this time.
Motion.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.